Hasbro, where are the army builders? Now, I've got some ideas that we can get more army builders out in people's hands more often, and this is free. So feel free to take this advice. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan. And today we are talking Marvel Legend Army Builders. With Marvel Legends, I think it was really cool. It's been a while since we've seen this, but they would do just the designated army builder, like in just the cardboard box, no frills, no Build-A-Figure, just, like the Hellfire Goon, the Hydra. Then they went to 2-packs, so you got the Shield 2-pack. You got the female Shield and Hydra. Those were pretty cool. I liked those. That was a great idea. But where are they, Jordan? We haven't seen a single army builder, I don't think, since the Scroll and like the Hand Ninja. That was the last iterations, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Does the Outrider count as that?
That one's hard to set because wasn't that like $70 or something? I didn't look at it at all, so I have no idea if that price is accurate. I just thought it was like expensive.
Okay. Yeah.
But it might count.
Either way,
that's a good point.
The army building coming out is a bit lacking when it comes to building our armies. I agree with you, Dakota.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
so what's the answer?
Well,
okay, I'm over here scratching my head.
my idea is buckets. So you could call it something else. I'm sure Hasbro the marketing team can put some frills on it. It doesn't have to be buckets. But my thought of this is it's like each army builder that they've already done. They don't even have to do new ones because there are people that want more scrolls. I personally would like another chance at the Shield Agent 2-packs. I could always go for more Hydra and AIM. All those figures have already been made. You don't need to do anything different, but each one of them is going to be kind of like a separate Kickstarter or like HasLab campaign that just kind of runs indefinitely. So Hasbro can say whatever their number is that they need to make it, profitable for them to do. So whether that's like, you need to sell 1,000 units or 5,000 units, 10,000, whatever it is. I then say I want more Shield army builders. I go in, I put my order in for 5. Now there's 5. The bucket fills up that much, kind of like the thermometer at the donation center. Enough people, once it hits, whatever it is, that 2,000 figure mark, then that goes into production and it gets shipped out however long that takes. Like maybe, as it gets closer, maybe at like 1,500, they're like, all right, put it into production because it's going to reach that 2,000 limit when we send it out. So then they're not making army builders that are going to sit on the shelf. They're only making the army builders that they know that fans have already pre-ordered and they want. So fans are, still not charged until it funds kind of like a campaign for a HasLab or whatever. And then if there's not actually that many people that want the Scroll army builders, as it seems like there is in the Facebook groups, then it just doesn't get made until, as time goes on, more and more people are going to want those figures from the past. Again, I think that's a super easy way for Hasbro to be like, we're not going to make them yet unless there's enough demand for it. Because that's kind of what the HasLab campaigns are, is they don't want to make giant figures unless people want them. You could do that with the smaller figures too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to know with that what the numbers were with those army builders, because it seems like when those sold, those would sell out pretty quick, and then they'd be pretty valuable afterwards when they're out. So, I mean, I think there's definitely a huge demand for those.
Yeah. And like you said, I think it depended, because like the female Shield and Hydra 2-pack, that one ended up going on sale because I don't think there was as much demand, or maybe they made more because they thought the two male builders they sold really well, because those sold out pretty quickly. I wish I would have picked up 2 of those. I only got 1.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little bit skewed because, and you could even separate that 2-pack, have a female Hydra agent single pack and a single packed Shield female, because I think the problem with that was they just had the Quake and Maria Hill figure come out. And then
I agree.
Like I stocked up. I was like, oh, sweet, I want some more female Shield builders. I bought, I think, 3 or 4 Quakes. And then they put the 2-pack out. I'm like, well, I don't really need any more Shield female
I
figures I've already
built
got.
my army.
Yeah, I just need more of the Hydra. So if they put out a Hydra single pack,
Yeah.
I would probably pick up another one. So I think that's kind of where
Right.
I do think that the demand is there. I think that one is a little bit of a fluke of they
Yeah.
kind of already put the builder out and then put it out again. But like the Hellfire Club Goon, that one's I think the oldest or one of the oldest, and that one's sold out. That one, it sells more in the aftermarket. I don't know what it goes up to now, but I know
Yeah.
it was up to like 45, 50 maybe for a little bit. It might have come down, but
Yeah. It was going higher for him. Yeah, I think for that one, the Skrull, even though some of those hand ninjas at times, I don't know what those always sit at, but yeah, the Hellfire one for sure. I think people would love to get another chance at that one.
Yeah, and I think with the scroll, we would have seen a much bigger demand for that if the Giant Man HasLab had funded up to the point of getting the scroll head, because there's no way you want a scroll Giant Man without having some of those army builders. So I think that may have brought the demand down just a little bit, but I think it's still there. And there's no shortage of additional army builders they could add to the buckets if they wanted to. They could throw in, if you've got your scrolls, you need your Kree to go up against them. You could have,
You need your
if they
Kree,
really wanted to go
absolutely.
crazy, throw in some Brood figures. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but maybe you throw in like a tracksuit mafia, just not without the tons of accessories that the other one came out with. So there's other army builders they could make, and I think that would be cool.
There's a lot of demand I've heard
saying.
for new Doombots. Like a lot of people want new Doombots. Like a lot.
At least 5 billion. So I think, and that's
so we should make.
I
as
was
many
thinking
of
about
those as we
Doombots.
can.
That's a good idea because they've got the head now. Now we just throw a body, and we got it.
Yeah, I'm saying. I think that's there. So are you imagining in this world it'd be like this is this one specific figure, and like if this funds this, it's just like the one. So you'd be like, this is a Doombot, or this is a Hellfire Club guy.
Right.
It's just this particular one.
Yeah, so it'd be like they'd all be separate listings, kind of like they already would be on Hasbro. So it's kind of just like it. Like I said, it's not exactly a HasLab, but it's run similar, where you can see how full the meter is getting, how close you're getting, and then once it reaches that point, then that one figure is the one that gets pushed into production. And these are all on like older bodies too, for the most part. So a chance to reuse those pinned bodies that people get so upset about. Because for me, I don't think that with my like AIM soldiers, like, do I really need those to be on the new Vulcan or super articulated Spider-Man? No, it's an army builder that's just there to get beat up. I don't care if he's got pins.
Right.
I've got plenty of other weapons I can use. I'm glad that it comes with a few blasters, but it's not the end of the world if these are not the most articulated, newest, premium army builders.
Right.
But I think we still keep them at that army builder price. I don't want it to jump up to the $25. And again, I'm still fine with those windowless boxes. I think those were some of the best windowless boxes that they had done. So there you go, Hasbro. Save some money on the packaging, the older body molds. Just give me some army builders,
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that would free you up to then do some army builders that you maybe couldn't bank on. I think I've talked about this before, but like personally, I would love like a generic vampire or zombie or something. You could give it like two heads, and then that one could be different. Like if you'd want a scene like that, or if you want these kind of more, not like as big of staples, but you could start to say, could we introduce, like you said, even if it was more of like a civilian type or like a thug type or whatever that might be. Yeah, things that you probably wouldn't want to put in a wave or like in a Build-A-Figure or whatever. But yeah, I think there would be a lot of different figures you could get creative with outside of even just the staples that you think of. Like if it's Skrull, Hellfire, Doombot, you could just start saying what other stuff could we work in there.
Yeah, I think getting just generic goons from Hasbro in that way. And I guess maybe I'm trying to think of like maybe if it's not Marvel Legends, they could do just generic goons in G.I. Joes. I don't know if that's as common, but I just imagine like you said, you could have Spider-Man, Daredevil, like they're usually fighting their goons. Like they've obviously got their rogues gallery of Kingpin and Green Goblin, but average day they're just stopping a bank robber, stopping a mugging. And I think, like Shartimus Prime tried to do that, but I think being just a solo creator trying to make a product, it's going to be more expensive. Whereas Hasbro could do this for half the cost of what the street humans were going to be. So I think that's kind of where they have an advantage there. And again, it doesn't get made if it doesn't get enough people wanting it. So there's really only the risk of, creating the, whatever it is, digital renders for those newer ones. But they've already got the money in the bank from the old ones. So there's this seems like a zero risk, only reward type of idea for Hasbro. So let us know in the comments, is this a good idea? Hasbro, feel free to chime in. I'd love to hear your opinions too. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong. I've got some ideas to get these out in people's hands, and I think you're going to like it.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That was a horrible sneeze. Just ruined your whole day.